Okay, Taurus, the bull, April 21st to May the 21st. Traditional Taurus traits include patient and reliable. I've seen quite a lot of different patient ones and impatient ones. With the Tauruses that I know, they are very reliable. They can be given a task and they will do it. And they will do it in a relaxed pace, in their own pace really. You should never really rush at Taurus. Another couple of traits that they have is they're warm-hearted and loving. I would have to say depends. I've once been out with a Taurus and she wasn't very warm-hearted and she wasn't very loving. She was very, very boring, dull, and wouldn't even acknowledge I was there. Whereas I've actually seen other Taurus that are actually really, really kind, really warm-hearted and loving. I mean, one that I know is actually bisexual and fancies this guy. He says that he's really, really attracted to him, but he's not sure whether it's lust or love, and he wants it to be love because he doesn't want to hurt anyone, which is very, very respectable. And another Taurus that I know, she's been out with a lot of different people and she's got a very, very good emotional contact with them. She's very warm-hearted and caring about a lot of things. Other traits include persistent and determined. You cannot shift a Taurus. If you try to move it, it will stand there and not move. They will do whatever it takes to do what they want to do. You can never force them into anything. I mean, a lot of Tauruses that I know, they've like been told to do something, they'll say, no, I don't want to, and they'll keep at it. It'll not stop. But when they really want to do it, they will carry on, and they will do it until the end, really. Other traditional traits include placid and security loving. They are very, very relaxed and they like to feel secure. When they feel secure, that's it. They fall in love with whoever it is. But it's very difficult to make a Taurus feel secure. I mean, one Taurus in particular that I know, she's very emotional about things and she's been messed with in the past by people that she's been out with, and she knows it hurts and she finds it difficult to trust people because of that, I think. Anyway, on the dark side of Taurus, jealous and possessive. I would say just a little. I mean, I've known some Taurus that have wanted other people's like boyfriends or girlfriends and they've been really, really jealous, but when they're with someone they are possessive. They will keep to them, they will stick by them like glue because they're warm-hearted and loving, as I said before. This can be both a good thing and a bad thing depending upon who they're with and what their personality is like and whether they have personality clashes and such. But why is possessive a bad thing? I mean, to be honest, I find possessiveness to be quite romantic. So, and jealousy too. Jealousy can be quite romantic because it shows that you really, really do care. I mean, Taurus is a sign that cares. Another dark side of the Taurus, resentful and inflexible. Well, they can be resentful and they can be inflexible. It just depends upon the mood at the time. Once, a Taurus that I spoke to was in a bad mood and someone had like thrown something at him and he didn't forgive that person for over 3 weeks. So that shows resent, but I've seen them to be really forgiving at times, which is really, really good. Another thing on the dark side, self-indulgent and greedy. Now that is a definite no. I'm afraid they can become self-indulgent to some extent. They like media style stuff, they like being sat in front of the TV, they like food, they like thinking about themselves in some respects, but they also like to think about the partner, they like to cuddle up to the partner. So they're not self-indulgent, they're not greedy, but they are in some ways, if you understand. It's not a bad thing, it's not a good thing, it's like something you just have to accept in the Taurus. It can be quite intriguing, really. Right, so what does the Taurus like? Stability. They don't like chaos. They have to be like set on something that's good order, otherwise they fall over. Like the Taurus has 4 legs. Take one of the legs away and it'll probably fall over, and they hate it when that happens. Another thing that they like being attracted. So when they're attracted to something, it's like, ooh yes, something that's got my attention. If you can get the Taurus's attention, well, you'd be surprised what amazing things can come out of the attraction. Alright, they like things natural. If you give them any of that stupid, scientifically made super soap, they'll be thinking, why do you need that? You can use normal soap, it's just as good. And it also appeals to clothing. If you try and wear too much of the fancy, fashionable stuff, they'll think, why are you wearing that? Why not wear something comfortable? Another thing that they like time to ponder. They're thinkers. They like us Scorpio, they like to look at the mysteries of life. I mean, Taurus is actually the opposite sign of Scorpio, so we have a lot of things in common and can get on quite well. So it's a lot of different things in from that. They also like comfort and pleasure. They really like to be cuddled. If you're with a Taurus, cuddle them and do not neglect them, otherwise they will be hurt. And pleasure, well, that can like mix between sexual pleasure or like general pleasure. According to a lot of theories, Taurus is one of the greater sex signs. Probably next to Scorpio, but I'm not quite sure about that, to be honest. I'll probably look into it and explain at some point. But they like pleasure and they like comforted. So you know what to do when you got a little Taurus with you. Right, they dislike disruption. If they're busy thinking about something, or if they're busy doing something, like watching TV, do not disrupt them, otherwise they will not forgive you for a bit. They'd be very resentful, as it said before. I mean, I can remember I was talking to a Taurus at one point while I was watching TV, and he gave me a really dirty look. It was not funny. Right, they dislike being pushed too hard. Let a Taurus go at their own pace. They do things in their own time and it turns out perfect. If you force them to do anything, they'll just end up being stubborn and just stop still. You can't move a Taurus. You're basically screwed on that. They dislike synthetic or man-made things. I wouldn't say they dislike it that much, but they prefer more natural things. They prefer real rather than fake, so you've got to be real with them. I mean, speaking to one of my Tauruses the other day, they were going on about how they don't like people being fake, how they like things being normal. Like the way people have arachnophobia, she said that it was very, very stupid how people had that. And so I was like, yeah, I agree. Because people naturally didn't really have a fear of spiders, it just grew on them through society. Anyway, moving on. They don't like being rushed. Yes, if you rush them, well, they'll stop. Like being pushed too hard, they'll just stop and you won't be able to move. And they dislike being indoors. Now, I'd say that can be kind of a factor. They like being indoors if they're doing something, but if they've got something more interesting to them doing, like one one Taurus I know actually does shooting, and it's like one of her most favourite outdoor activities. It is the one thing that she loves that's physically done. I don't know whether she's likes being indoors. I mean, to be honest, she goes out quite a lot from what I can tell, and why keep something indoors? On the whole, Taurus, very relaxed, very chilled out. One of my favourite anime characters is a Taurus. Now, if you ever meet a Taurus, be kind, be gentle, and be patient, because they do things at their own pace. Whatever you do, you've got to let them be how they are, because they are very stubborn and they are very powerful. Not to mention they pack a powerful punch as well. I've not been hit by one yet, so I'm okay. Speak to you again, guys.